doing research with Dr. Villanueva. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about methods and arrays and give you a kind of overview. Hopefully we'll answer any questions that you guys have, and if you have any questions, please let me know. If you can't understand my handwriting, let me know. And if you can't hear me, let me know, okay? All right, so we're just going to go over methods a little bit. So what is it that we know before we start? What do we know before methods?
They're a small part of the program that you call to do a specific task.
Okay, so what goes inside of a method, you know? Okay, well let's talk. So we have variables, right? What else do we have?
Can I have like loops inside as well?
Okay,
Yeah.
loops. What kind of loops are there? For and what else? Wow, right? What else do we have?
If and else statements.
If and else statements, what do you call them? Conditionals, right? What else do we have? Switches? Okay. That's how we work conditional, right? What else do we have? That's about it. All right. We don't have an eraser, but it's okay. So, let's define a method. So, how do we define a method in Java? Do we know? No? All right, so let's talk about it. So, what we have is we're going to have something called a modifier. A modifier is what we have as public. We've all heard of that before, right? Yeah. So public is just saying everyone who has access to what we are going to explain later as a class, everyone who has access to our program can access this method. Does that make sense? So public, anyone can access. Now, we're going to talk static. For now, just believe me, and just put static, okay? We're going to get there in a couple of weeks when we hit objects, okay? So just for now, static. Okay, what is the next part? So we're going to have a return type, right? So what is a return type?
Like Boolean,
Boolean, string, integers, right? So those are just the data types that we know. So when we initialize the variable, we have integer, string, Boolean, and all those things. So all those is going to go right here, right? So we're going to call it return type. So let's just say, what if we have void? What does that mean?
It doesn't
return
So it doesn't return anything, right? So let's just for now, let's put void. Okay, so what's the next thing that we put? So we have public static void.
The method name?
I'm sorry?
Method name?
The method name. So how do we name methods?
You said verbs yesterday?
So verbs, exactly. How many of you all remember it was several years ago when that was, we had the commercial, is verb is what you do. Remember that? That's why I learned what verb was in high school, because I have no idea what a verb was. All right, so that's how we do it. Verb is what you do. So it's something that you do, it's an action, okay? Sort of. So let's see, let's make something that adds numbers, yeah? Okay, so instead of void, if we have two integers, what do we want to return? The what? The sum of them, so that will be a integer, right? So if you have an integer and you add them together, it's an integer. So this public static integer, right? And then what could the method name be?
Sum?
Sum? Okay, that's fine. I'm going to put add numbers. Not because I didn't like what you wrote or what you said, but I like add numbers better. All right? So, what do we know? What goes next? Do we take in parameters?
Yes.
Yes? Why do we take in parameters?
So that the method knows exactly what it's going to be, what you're calling and what to output?
Okay, sort of. So, add numbers, we're going to be taking in the integers that we're going to be adding together, okay? So, if we're taking in an integer, what should we put here? Integer. Okay, so int. What do we call this variable? What should we name it?
Num1?
Num1? You can do that. And then we want another one, right? So what do we call it? Num2. All right. So what do we do inside the method? there's several ways to do it, so don't be shy. Okay, so we're taking in a number, and we're taking in another number. We gotta do something to those numbers to add them, right? So what do we do?
Add the two numbers and then return the sum.
Okay, so how would I write that?
Sum equals num1 plus num2, and then return sum.
Okay, so do I gotta declare?
Oh yeah, you have to
sum?
declare the sum.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what did I have to do? So num1 plus num2?
Yes.
Are we okay with that? Everyone can read my handwriting?
Yes.
All right, and then we end it with a semicolon, right?
Yes.
Because that's the standard syntax for most programming languages to end it with a semicolon. Then what do we do now?
The return sum?
Return sum. Can someone in the back find me something to erase with? Anyways, so return sum. So where does the method stop?
Right underneath the return sum.
So if I put something here, code here, will it run?
No, because the return automatically makes it go back to the method.
Okay, so exactly. So once I hit return, it just says stop and it doesn't do anything else. It just stops in its tracks and it returns whatever variable we have, right? So this is up. So then we need to close our little method, right? So we just wrote a method. It makes sense, right? Does it make sense to you? Okay, so we're going to come back to this in a second. So we talked a little bit about arrays yesterday in lecture, right? So what is an array? Who can tell me what an array is?
It's like, the group of variables.
Okay.
It's like storing a group of variables so you can call them later for, like if you have a lot of variables and you don't want to repeat yourself over and over again, you can set them in an array and later on you can say, well, I need all those variables, so then you can call it to come and put in the variables.
Okay, sort of. All right, so I'm going to give you the textbook definition. It's called a data structure. How many of us have heard of a data structure? A data structure. It's something that holds data, right?
Yes.
All right, so let me draw you a little picture. In the old days, when you had the disk, like these computers still have like a hard disk, right? So you have a disk, right? Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, yes. You have a disk. All right. Then you have what they, pretend that these are just little points of memory, right? So this is memory 1, 2, 3, whatever, right? So it makes sense, right?
Yes.
So what an array is, it says, hey, I'm going to go into the memory and I'm going to set off this particular amount of space. So let's say I want this space to this space. So this guy is my array. Okay? So how can we represent that? So we can represent an array like this. Does that make sense? So let's say we have an array of size 4, right? So where do we start?
0.
0, okay? So let's break it up into 4 pieces. We're good, right? Okay, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense?
Yes.
See how this can match to this?
Yes.
So this is an array. So in an array in Java, am I allowed to have an integer and a double inside the same array?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Oh.
You can't. I'm just making sure. Okay. Why can't we?
Could they have to be the same data type? So
Exactly.
if it's like double, then it has to be like
Exactly.
1.1, 1.2.
So we've heard of the keyword new, right? So when we call and invoke the keyword new, what that's saying is that, hey, I'm going to create this space and I'm going to make it specific for this type, okay? So it's allocating memory for this particular type. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what memory is going to be doing. So if, pretend this was an integer, I could have 8, I could have 10, I could have -5, I could have a billion or whatever. Make sense? So that's how it works, right? Right, yes? All right, cool. So now we know a little bit about loops, right? Okay, so let's write a for loop together. Okay, So, how should I start it?
4,
4. What's next?
parentheses. You can have I equals 0.
Okay. In Java. Int. Why are we calling it int?
Because that's a complete different variable from anything else, so you have.
Exactly. So we're defining a variable int. Okay? Because we want it to be a consistent variable. So we're going to be counting it. Int, and what are we calling it? I?
Yeah.
Could I call it anything else?
Yes.
What could I call it?
N-O,
Could I call it Daniel if I wanted to?
yeah.
Yeah, I could, but that's would be crazy. All right, here we go. So int I, what do I do?
Equals 0.
Equals 0. Does it have to start at 0?
No.
No. Okay. Cool. So what's next? So let's say I have an array, and we'll call this array my array. Okay? And I want to go through all of the elements in the array. Okay, so what should I go here?
Whether it's less or greater than or equal to. I less than, greater than, or equal to, and then a number.
Okay, cool. And I heard that I is equal to 4? Yes and no.
I said less than.
Less than, okay. Yes, you're almost there. You're almost there. So when we're using arrays, we're gonna be doing something very special. Okay? So when you write a program, you always kind of want to make it in the most generic way possible, right? Okay? So let's say I had an array that I less than 4. Okay, but what happens if I had another array? What if I decided to go back in my program and change it to be 5? But I already wrote 4 here. What could I do?
Dot length.
Exactly, so dot length. So it's my array. So is I is less than my array dot length. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because the length of the array, So if it's size 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the length. Yeah? Okay, what else is next?
I plus plus or I minus minus.
Okay, for this case? I plus plus?
Plus
Yes? What does I plus plus mean?
Plus 1.
It's the same as like I equals I plus 1.
Exactly, so this is just shorthand and it's just a little more efficient, okay? So what else do we want to do? So let's say this is my array. How do we access the variables inside my array? Pretend that this was like a method that I didn't write, so all of this is available for us. What do I do?
My array bracket 0.
Okay? So I want to count. I want to count no, let's not do that. Let's say they're integers, right? They're integers, right? So I want to add them all up. Okay, what do I do?
The I plus 1. And then the variable equals I plus 1.
Okay, so what did I forget if I want to add them up?
You need a variable for that.
I need a variable sum, okay?
Yes.
So I need sum. And what do I set sum equal to? 0. Okay. My bad, I forgot. All right, so if I want this array and I want to add up all the elements inside the array, what do I do? Someone tell me.
Sum equals I plus 1.
Sum equals? Okay.
I plus 1. I plus 1.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what you guys are saying, okay? So this loop is going. So sum is going to be equal to I plus 1. So I is equal to 0 plus 1, sum is equal to 1. So let's go back. I plus 1, so now I is now equal to 1, right? Everyone's following? I plus 1, 2, sum is now equal to? 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes. No.
Does that make sense? No. Okay, so let me show you. So there's this, what we could do is this sum is equal to whatever sum was before, plus whatever is inside. So my array at I. Does that make sense? Because this is accessing what's inside. I is what we call the index. Does it make sense? So I, so we have an array, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the index, right? and this is the value. Does that make sense? Yeah? So if this is the index, this is I. I, J, Daniel, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. And what you're accessing is the value. Does that make sense? So if we close this, sum, let's trace it together. So we have sum is equal to 0, right? And we have I is equal to 0. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so we come into the array, it says I is equal to 0, is I less than the array dot length? Yeah, so we come here and say sum is equal to the previous, so 0 plus array at I. So what's I?
0, 10, 0.
So it's 10, right? So sum 0 plus 10 is equal to, okay, 10. Then we come over here and we check. We add 1 to I, right?
Yes.
So is 1 less than my array dot length?
Yes.
Okay, so we come back here. Sum, which is,
10.
and the array at I,
20.
20. So 20 plus,
10. 30.
30.
is this making sense?
Yes.
We're good? Okay, let's do one more iteration. So we come back here. I adds 1. So is 2 less than my array dot length?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so sum is equal to
30.
plus,
30.
which is
60.
60. Hopefully you guys are getting this little mess over here, but it makes sense, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how can we write this in a method? You have everything we need. So what we just did and this, how can we combine the two?
I'll do static.
Okay, so someone tell me, go. We want everyone to be able to see it, right? Okay, we're just gonna say static. And are we gonna return something?
Yes.
We're gonna return a what? Integer, right? And what do we wanna call it? Add array is fine. That's why I put add numbers. Does it make sense? Add array. Okay. Add array. What does it take in? Does it take in anything? What does it take in? Okay, pretend that I had defined an array up here, right? My array. Array. What does it take in? Are you sure?
Yes.
So remember, when we write a method, we're writing it very generic, right? So we can have any type of array. So this is called int. We've all seen how to define an array, right? In Java. And let's call it Daniel array. Does it make sense? Yeah? Sure? Okay. Because we're making it very generic. So we can add anything as long as it comes here. I'll show you how we're going to call it in a second. Okay, so what do I want to do? We want to add it, right? So what do we do?
4.
Are you sure? What did we do before? We need a sum variable, right? So we have integer, sum is equal to 0. What's next?
4.
4. What's next?
Int.
Uh-huh.
Equal to 0.
Uh-huh.
I is
I
less
is
than
less
Daniel array.
Daniel array, because this is, we're talking about the array of the method, right? And then what's next?
Plus plus.
I plus plus. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so what do we do inside?
Sum.
Sum
Equals sum plus Daniel array I.
plus Daniel array at I.
Yes.
Does it sound good? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, what do I do next?
Return.
Do I return inside the for loop or outside the for loop?
Outside.
Outside the for loop. So I gotta close it. Return, and what am I returning?
Sum.
Sum. And then what do I do? Close it up?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's put it into action. So let's put it into action. Because you're getting this stuff. Alright, here we go. So we want to call it, right? Okay, so pretend we're in the system, public, static, void main, right? Main string args, right? Okay, so this is our main method. We always call function from the main, well, we mostly call function from the main method, right? Okay, so what should I do? So if I want to use this, what do I gotta do? I gotta define an array, right? Okay. So let's call it an int, because I'm running out of time. I'm just gonna kind of define it for you, okay? My array, and let's call it new, int of size 4. Does that make sense? Yes? We're good? Okay, so I'm just going to assign the values to be something, right? Does this make sense?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna make it 3. All right, so what do? We call the method, right? So how should we call the method?
The method's name and the parentheses.
Okay, so let's call it into a variable. So let's define a variable integer. Sum is equal to add array, and what goes inside my array? Right? Does it make sense? Okay, then we can go system.out.print. Does everyone understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and sum. And what will that return? It'll print out the sum of the array. Does that make sense? Yeah? All right, so what we're going to be doing, your assignment, is to do something very similar, but a little different. So remember yesterday's example with cupcakes and all that? So we're gonna do something like that. So your assignment is to do what we did, and instead of returning the sum of whatever, you're going to take in a parameter. So let's say you have an array of, I don't remember what they were, so there's chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, mixed. I don't know, that's a nasty cupcake, right? So you're gonna mix them all together. Okay, so you're gonna take in something, a method, that takes in a string, and it's gonna be one of these. So assume that it's gonna be one of those, okay? So it's gonna take in a string, and then you're going to return the index of where it is. Does that make sense? Yeah? We can do that? Shouldn't be too hard, right? Okay, so it doesn't make sense. Method that takes in a string, returns index. Let's say I happen to put something that doesn't match. Then you're going to return -1. If it is there, -1 otherwise. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I were to put raspberry, it's not there, right? So you're going to return -1. We're good? Questions, comments, concerns, methods, anything? I'll be here for help if you need any help, okay?